What's up, guys? Kalen Carr here. And when I'm listening to Houston Dynamo news, I'm listening to the Appeal Forever Orange.
We'd like a little,
yeah,
we
want Mr. What'd you call him last time? Mr. Robinson.
Mr.
Robinson.
Robinson.
Want Mr. Robinson to call in. E-Rob.
Yeah. So after that, I do still have a. I got one.
Here we go. We got a call.
Hey, welcome to the Appeal.
Hello, it's Wilson.
Hey, what's up, Wilson?
Wilson, my boy, Wilson.
I will have to say, I feel bad because I've missed most of the show. I just got back from Merchant, but I can imagine what's been talked about for
don't
sure.
Don't even worry, man. You just when this one's over with, you just go back and then swap it over there.
No, just like normal, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You just go back over and watch over the entire show. Anywho, man, just give us your thoughts on this, man. You know, I mean, it is frustrating, you know, and I'm pissed. Justin's pissed. Megan's pissed. Are you pissed?
I mean, here's the deal. I think the biggest oversight SC Dallas is making is that they're creating a bunch of bad blood for no reason.
Exactly.
Like, what do you think's going to happen whenever the ban is over? Like, it's just going to cause more issues. The Dynamo fans are going to be fired up. Especially when SC Dallas fans are coming to Houston here in 2 whole weeks, definitely going to be fresh on the mind. Like, the biggest thing we don't need are any issues happening at our stadium. We don't need fans to feel intimidated. Like, we can choose to be good fans. And the raw truth of it is that the Dynamo fans, when they went to Dallas, chose to be good fans. Yeah, minor discrepancies with streamers thrown in the stadium, smoke bomb or two in the parking lot, which is totally, of course, allowed for the normal supporters. But, like, they're stirring up the pot for no reason. Doesn't make sense.
I can tell you why they're stirring up the pot, because we were louder than they were on national TV at their own stadium, and it's an embarrassment to their organization. So they want to put the blame on MLS, and that's just me saying that as a fan. Okay, I've gotten a lot of stuff from different people stating that otherwise. Still, this is what I'm sticking to. I think they're full of shit.
The other issue I have that came out today from Corey's great article is that the Dynamo front office will not be making a comment. They have no comment, and they will not be making a comment. And that's a bunch of crap. I understand that they've got to play nice because it's MLS, and that's like Garber's basically wants the League of Nice here. But they need to make a statement. Like, there's no reason not for them to do that. Even if they say that we accept what FC Dallas is saying, but to make no statement at all, I mean, that's not good enough.
Well, Kennedy did come out, and he did post a video of an interview. He is aware of it. They are looking into it, and I don't know if there's really much he can say that would be, let's say, PG enough for the air.
Right.
Because he looked quite pissed off when he was taking this interview. Like, I honestly feel like he really wants to tell MLS to go fuck themselves.
No. He did not look pissed off. No, he had a smile on his face. He had a grin on his face. He loves his mainstream media right now. That ended up on KHOU last night. This whole instantly when it came out, it went on KHOU, and that's some good coverage for them. They want to I mean, sadly enough, this is what we have to talk about. The pettiness from FC Dallas, but I mean, it is Dallas in general. We all hate them, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I understand. And the other part of the ban, it doesn't make any sense to limit it to 100 tickets, because we all know they aren't going to sell out. And if 300 to 400 fans want to go back to Dallas, tickets are going to be available.
Yep.
And like, it's such a ham-fist. I mean, of course, if you read the press release, it's pretty clear that it was rushed or just, kind of poorly written. But like, they clearly didn't think this through. I mean, I don't know. So
I guess, another issue for me is why it took them so long to release this statement. Why yesterday on June 6th instead of, the business day after the match?
I think that, it's one of those things that I saw a lot of comments on Twitter talking about, like, if there was a big issue, why wouldn't they prevent these dangerous people from even entering the stadium? I mean, I kind of get it. Like, imagine how the Dynamo fans would have been that were allowed in the stadium if they knew that, like, 30 of their friends were being held out of the game for what they consider a BS reason. Like, that's a recipe for trouble. But the waiting, I think that even though it seems like not a calculated decision, I think that they definitely made a conscious, clear decision that this is the punishment that they thought was fair. And, as their press release states, or their letter to the supporter groups, that, this has been okayed by MLS. And so, I think that there is a little bit of a chain of command there. They don't get to unilaterally choose to not allow Dynamo fans in the stadium. It's something that MLS is going to sign off on. I think that that's in reality why it took so long.
My biggest issue is that, like, why did it take so long for them to tell us what the reasoning was on why, for a few smoke bombs, streamers, and a flare, why is it that it was just unacceptable behavior at first for a smoke bomb?
Okay, so I know the answer to that, because they didn't ever want to have to say it, because they knew it was wet toilet paper thin. It's a bunch of BS.
Exactly.
They knew that. And there have been flares before. Like, I went to the game 3 or 4 years ago, and somebody, I don't even know who they were, but somebody from the top of the section threw a flare, and it actually hit me in the back of the calf, and I got a scar from it, like a lit flare. And we snuffed it out because we knew
at the Dynamo Stadium.
No, in Dallas. Dynamo fans in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, we knew, like, we knew that this was, it was an effect of privilege to be able to travel with so many fans, instruments, etc. And things had kind of been on thin ice because of the Dynamo situation and for MLS Cup in LA. And so, we're kind of working to get back the front office's trust. And then, a Dynamo fan makes a stupid decision, sneaks a flare into the stadium, throws it into the section. Fortunately, we weren't punished for that because we did snuff it out pretty quickly, which is actually kind of an interesting, if you've ever had to try to snuff out a flare before, it's not particularly easy. I think someone donated their soda for that. Yeah. So I think that that's the problem, is that you're punishing, I don't even know if any real rules were broken. I mean, throwing the streamer thing, that's such a bunch of crap. But, I think that they can point to the smoke, which MLS has made a big show of, as something that, that they're making a bigger deal out of that. I think if someone just threw streamers, I don't think we get this ban. But the fact that it smoked before, and I think that is a thing that the supporter group should have known not to do that. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I mean, it feels frustrating to me because I think that, even though this is wet paper thin, it is a little bit of blame because they knew that wasn't ever going to fly. Like, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me a little bit.
So
Wilson, let me
fast,
pause
Wilson,
you real quick.
We got this guy on the.
So we have Brian
feed
Jones. So has anyone actually figured out if it was the league or FCD? Because there's a big difference there, ladies. Number one, that's rude. Number two, no.
Thanks for tuning into the Peel if you're an FCD fan.
It was the league, but Dallas had a big part of it. I mean, Dallas had to have bitched at some point for the league to really step down and look at this. Yes, there was an auditor, a third-party auditor there looking at the supporter section, but it still comes from FC Dallas.
Oh, absolutely.
No, FC Dallas requested, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, I believe that, honestly, from what we heard, and we had spoken to the person who had, the vice president of the marketing and communications and stuff, and honestly, man, she full of shit.
Yeah.
On that factor.
Dustin brings up a really good point. Look, if you have a problem with smoke bombs, don't use it in your marketing for MLS.
Right. That's true. I mean, and even this, I mean, I get it. It's one of those things that fire code is in effect. It's fire. Like I said, I've got a scar on my leg from having a flare hit me. Like, it's not like it's a safe, like, totally friendly item. Like, I get that. And, but you're right. Like, MLS definitely is trying to drum up this kind of, like, young, brash support because it's exciting. And people want to be a part of that. And, I don't know. Like I said, I think the Texian Army statement was pretty clear. Like, lighting flares in the parking lot is allowed at Toyota Stadium. Like, I mean, it's allowed. They can't punish us for something that's allowed.
So let me get this straight.
I mean, if they've chosen to do that.
We've had 3 supporters now already state that it was allowed. 3 already on our show.
I'm going to throw this up there because Brian Jones obviously isn't totally getting it. This letter is what they sent out to the fans. What logo is on this paper? I'm just saying. It's from FC Dallas.
Yeah. Not anywhere does that have just MLS on it.
Sincerely, they're putting Gina from FC Dallas.
They're putting it on FC Dallas, all right? I'm sorry, they're putting it on MLS, okay? So we'll go ahead and just put that out there.
Who said that?
Gina Miller, the Vice President of
Communications.
Communications. And
what a bunch of bullshit.
Exactly, trust me.
My God,
we had
what
spoken
a
with her
joke.
before the show, and this is all the bullshit that we had gotten from them.
And I quote, a decision has been made by, and I'm going to bold this, FC Dallas to impose these.
No. All right, no. Okay, so just to get the facts straight, okay? It was not MLS. It was MLS, a third-party auditor.
Well,
okay?
MLS
from what we had gotten is from Gina Miller. It was a third-party auditor from MLS that audited the away supporters on firing the flare, on shooting off the smoke bomb in the parking lot prior to the game, after the game, or whatever, and then throwing streamers.
Yeah.
That
Brian,
is exactly what we got.
Brian, I want you to call into the show because I actually want to talk to you about this.
Yeah, please do call in the show. We got our number right here, dude.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You can call in anytime you want.
Yes. So we could clarify this so I don't have to yell at you or I can actually understand.
Yes, because there is a big delay on the Facebook feed here, and I don't think we're on the same page at the moment.
No. But now I'm going to ask you the same question I asked David and I asked Corey. No, well, it's all good. All right, I'll message you after the fact because I want to clear it up because I don't want this to look awkward. How do you think this plays out with the match here in Houston, Wilson?
I see. Okay. I think in reality, the effect is that now you've got a pissed off group of Houston supporters. And Dallas is going to bring some people. I mean, we know they're not bringing 400, but they're going to bring 40 or 50 or so, half as much as Kansas City can do. And they are going to have serious security. Like, the worst case scenario is that an incident happened. And that is going to be heartbreaking to me because there's really no reason because everything was fine. Like, the supporters will have mutual respect, I think, as much as you can for Houston and Dallas. And, I mean, the Dynamo fans have been on such good behavior for years now. Like, this is the perfect incident that's going to cause an issue. So I think the Dynamo players probably, I don't know if they've heard about this, but I definitely think the supporters are going to be giving it 125% in the stands. And I just hope that doesn't carry over to any FC Dallas fans that are happen to be walking around or something like that.
Somebody says Steven Stone, I forget where the restrictions applied when the Dynamo supports punched a cop or slashed a bunch of tires in the parking lots. The years run together.
Yeah, actually, you need to clarify on that a little bit more for me. What does that have to do?
Megan, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about on that.
I remember hearing something about like tires being slashed or something for an away fan that had basically I think somebody with a bunch of FC Dallas stickers parked in the Dynamo lot, and something happened to the car. And that's one of those things where.
So it's warranted.
All right. So real fast, because Steven, we're not supporting any of that. Okay, we're not supporting any physical altercations. We're not supporting any vandalism, any of that kind of stuff. Okay, we're talking about a smoke bomb going off prior to the game, which was apparently allowed, and streamers flying. We're not talking about any of that stuff.
Yes,
nobody condones that.
Francisco, that was for the match here, which I think. I don't. If you listen to the show, if you don't, whatever. I honestly think we should pack the house, bring flags, bring streamers. Matter of fact, I am willing to go, and I wish Costco sold them in bulk. I'm willing to go to a craft store or a dollar store, I'm going to buy about 1,000 fucking streamers, and I'm going to pass them out.
Oh, and I'm gonna buy a bunch of fog bombs. And the next Dallas game I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna fire off some fog bombs. Apparently, it's allowed.
What I'm really excited about is when FC Dallas comes to town in a couple weeks, and we win at least 5-0, because then Josh has to write me a one-page paper.
I was gonna bring it up. I knew you were gonna beat me to it.
Why Paul Wall and Bun B are important and wonderful, and Houston rap scene is something to be appreciated.
Real fast, Wilson. I'm gonna break this down just for the listeners, because me and Wilson started talking about it on. And Eddie Robinson's wanting us to call him as well here.
Oh.
Yeah. Before I let you off,
get off the phone for Eddie.
Yeah, we are going to get into that. But yes, if the Dynamo score 5 or more goals against FC Dallas at home, I will write a one-page paper, okay, on why Houston rap is good for Houston sports or just soccer in general.
No. I want to know why Houston rap is good overall, on an overall basis.
Overall.
You know what I'm going to do?
That's going to be the hardest thing to write, too.
Remember,
it's not good.
Remember when, in school, in grade school, when you'd have to write a paper and present it to the class? You're going to do that, and I'm going to put it on the after credits of our podcast.
Okay, but you do have a deal, Wilson. I'm a man of my word, and I will follow that up. Guys, we are going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and call Eddie Robinson here. He is texting me right now. So,
yes,
Wilson,
sir.
We appreciate you calling in, man.
Y'all have a good evening, sir.
All right, man. Later. No, we're not trying to go for a 2-hour show.
It's just heading that way.
Yeah. But what I probably will do is I will probably break this up into a 2-parter.
I don't know, man. This is something. I mean,
yeah.
I don't. All right.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
What's up, dude?
Yeah, how's it going, man? It's Josh and Justin from The Peel. You're on the air right now. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I just had a nice dinner. Sat down. I'm about to put a movie on.
Oh, there you go.
Heck yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you letting us call you before the movie.
No problem. Anytime, guys.
So what is your initial feelings? How do you feel? And I guess we'll just go from there.
My initial feelings, before I responded, before I kind of got my thoughts in order, I wanted to get all the information.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody's got all the information now. The Dynamo supporters group lit off a smoke bomb in the parking lot, which doesn't seem to be illegal. Their supporters groups did it, which doesn't seem to be illegal.
Wait. According to Gina Miller, it was a fog bomb. So that's what she had to state to us.
No. What a joke. Laugh in her face. That's an absolute joke. Okay? That's a joke. An absolute joke. That's ridiculous. That's just the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard. This is petty. This is petty. The fact that Major League Soccer is going through with this, the fact that FC Dallas can't dispute this, and from what I've heard, FC Dallas isn't really happy about this. This is coming straight from the league. The fact that the league has told Houston Dynamo they cannot speak out publicly and disavow this suspension of the supporters is a joke. It's a complete and utter joke.
Okay, so
this dictatorship that Major League Soccer has going on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Then let me ask you then. Then what kind of a league is MLS trying to portray here? Because if you want to grow and compete with the rest of the world, you can't be pulling crap like this.
Listen, I understand that there are certain steps you have to take to make sure that your everyday fan, your average fan, the moms, the dads, the kids are safe.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you put away supporters. This is why you put home supporters in their own sections, and you don't sell tickets to those families. You take care of them. You respect the health of their children and the families. You do that. This is a joke to me. What would Merritt Paulson say if Seattle pulled this crap on Portland? Do you think he'd be quiet? Do you think the league would sanction him if he spoke out against it?
No, because I honestly
think ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And
we need somebody
feel
to
like
stick up for us.
This is a great opportunity for the Dynamo organization to stick up for its fan base.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've spoken to people in the front office today, and they've told me, hey, here's why we can't speak out against the league, but every single person in the Dynamo front office thinks this is a complete and utter joke, but they've been told they can't speak out against it.
Why can't they speak out? Can you tell us that?
I asked that question, and they said they don't want to go against the league. They don't want to go against the league. That was the answer that I got. And I told them straight up, that's ridiculous.
It's a joke.
And they agreed, and they said that this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. We have to be politically correct in this situation. And I said, that's too bad, because I'm not going to be.
Could you imagine?
And fortunately, I don't represent the organization. I represent myself. I would like to say that I represent and I stand up for the fans.
Please,
and for the supporters groups. Yes. And say that this is ridiculous. Major League Soccer, I mean, this is a joke. FC Dallas, this is a joke.
Now, I mean, could you imagine, you brought up Seattle and Portland. Could you imagine if they imposed a ban on Portland fans going to Seattle? I mean, this is probably, and this takes nothing away from the Texas Derby. I honestly feel like that might be the best rivalry in MLS when it comes to...
Well, it's the oldest. It's certainly the oldest.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes back way, way, way before, before I was born.
No, this is
Portland
not
and Seattle were playing
ahead.
each other. I mean, this is huge. This is a huge rivalry, and I respect that. Absolutely. But again, for what this means to the Dynamo fans, it's, when you look at FC Dallas, and for as good as they've been the last few years, and I mean, an extra 200 tickets, they can really afford to lose that revenue right now because of the way, fans don't show up in Frisco. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
If I was FC Dallas, I'd be pissed off because 200, that's not that much. But when you look at it as a whole with what they're selling, it sucks. It stinks. I feel bad for them.
It's an embarrassment to this league, the fact that they're doing something like this, because they're already ranked 20th in the league in attendance. We brought that up before, and 300 extra fans from an away group went over there, and gave them 300 tickets more for money, and now they're going to take 200 away from that. And then now there's nothing stopping Dynamo fans from buying tickets in general and going and sitting wherever the hell they want.
Let's just don't think ticket revenue, right? Let's say parking. Beers, food, all of these things that come into play. I mean, it's probably, I'm going to guess, 10 to 20 grand.
Oh, yeah.
And when you look at what they're bringing in, that's tough. The league's taking that away from them. So I don't think I don't think FC Dallas is necessarily okay with this.
You know what else? And it's the little things, but you know what else bothers me is the fact that on this, this letter they send out, it is signed by FC Dallas. If MLS had the balls, why didn't they send a letter out?
Well, again, it was. This is what I was told today: is that it was not FC Dallas that wanted to send this. FC Dallas didn't want this, but Major League Soccer wrote the letter and put the byline from FC Dallas on it. This is all Major League Soccer. And I think it's pretty cowardly that they won't take responsibility for it.
Yeah, they have.
That they're making FC Dallas take responsibility for it.
Not once at all have you seen MLS bring up any of this on their social media or anything. I'm sure on Extra Time Radio, they're not even going to discuss any of that or whatnot. None of this has been brought up. This is all just between Houston Dynamo and FC Dallas fans. And I don't know. Honestly, maybe it's a way to get more of a rivalry built up for the team. I don't know. Maybe it's a way to get more.
But do you really think that? Do you really think that's what MLS is wanting?
I don't know.
That's not MLS. No. MLS is saying, look, we're strong. We can do whatever we want. This is a dictatorship, not a democracy. Shut your mouth. That's what they're doing. And it stinks.
So, but from a fan and having some kind of common sense, wouldn't you want to drum up this rivalry and allow this to happen? Because of, like you said, it puts asses in the seats, it sells beers, it sells tickets, it sells parking, and And then you don't have to worry about just having a Seattle-Portland rivalry or a New York rivalry or, DC and Philly. You'd also have this Texas Derby where you have this rivalry, which is a great thing. Don't try to...
Right, and there needs to be some kind of organization between the clubs, and FC Dallas and Houston go to each other and we say, hey, look, we're going to reserve 50 hotel rooms for you. By the way, we're taking a kickback from the hotel, but they don't care. We don't care. Mm-hmm. You're doing the same thing. Then we've got coaches, buses that are going to come. They're going to pick them up. They're going to take them to the stadium. They're going to be escorted to the buses. They're going to give us a little kickback. We're all going to make money off this. Mm-hmm. And we're going to and this is going to be a rivalry. This is something that's awesome in Major League Soccer. I mean, outside of the New York clubs, outside of, DC, New York, Seattle, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Houston, Dallas, how many fans have less than, a 3, 4, 5 hour drive? It's not a $500, $600 round trip airfare. Mm-hmm. It's $30 to jump on a bus with a bunch of supporters. You can get a good deal, a group deal at a hotel for 100 supporters, 50 rooms, 2 to a room. And all of a sudden, this rivalry is kicking up a notch. It's huge. It should be. You want them to get in a little bit of trouble, to just bend the rules outside of the stadium. Yep. Dynamo fans did nothing wrong inside of the stadium. Nothing. The only people that got arrested inside of the stadium were 2 FC Dallas fans.
Thank you.
For trying to fight Dynamo fans. Dynamo fans were thanked by security at Toyota Stadium for not getting involved.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we could sit here and talk about this all day, but at the end of the day, I mean, for me, Major League Soccer, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, okay, before we let you go, what do you think this does for the match here? Do you think it gets close to a sellout? Do you think you're going to have some issues here?
Golly, I think it fires up the hardcore fans. I don't think there's going to be enough mainstream media coverage of this to fire up, which I'm bummed about. Yeah. And that's a conversation for another day. I don't think that's a conversation for another day. But I don't think there's going to be enough mainstream media coverage to really fire up all Houston fans, because if they covered this every day for the next week, if they covered this for 2 days, then another 2 days next week, just remind people, and another 2 days leading up to the game, I think it would drum up a lot of support.
How much?
And I think everybody would be there just to say, up here's Dallas, we're going to beat you.
Oh, absolutely.
But because it's so far out from the game, and I don't think there's going to be enough mainstream media coverage, I don't know how much it's going to do to affect anyone outside of the hardcore fan.
Will you be on Glenn's show this weekend? Or this week?
Next week,
I don't know. I don't think so. We usually have conversations well in advance, and I recorded something with him the other night
and it was good.
On the episode with Chris Canetti, but I haven't talked to him about the upcoming episode.
I got to go back and listen to that. I heard Glenn grilled him pretty well, so I want to listen to that.
It was pretty good. It was pretty nice, man, and I definitely appreciate Glenn Davis asking a lot of questions. I honestly, I know he was saying to call in. I didn't feel I didn't need to call in because he was nailing him with all the good questions. So,
Yeah.
One last question: Will you be commentating the game for the Dynamo versus FC Dallas here? Will you be on Unimas?
Because I know it's on Unimas, and I know it's on Facebook.com.
No, I will not. Unless for some reason I get a call to do another Facebook Live, which after, this conversation, after what I've, said on Twitter about Major League Soccer today, I don't think they're going to be asking me to do this game. So I should be there as a fan.
Well, just to let you know, we have about 25 people listening. So, Peel listeners, if you're just now tuning in, Eddie Robinson's on the phone with us. We're about to actually let him go here in a minute, giving us his point of view on the ban that happened just previously.
We actually have a supporter from FC Dallas getting ready to call in.
Yeah,
so
this show is going to be
that.
extended a little bit longer, too. Yeah, so
that should be interesting. All right.
This should be good. So, hey, Eddie, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight on that. It kind of sets us up to talk to the FC Dallas fan here now, because now we know it's really not so much them, it's more of MLS in general.
Yes. Yeah.
So we appreciate giving us some good insight on that, man.
Anytime, guys.
All right, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Yep. Later. All right, so we're going to have a supporter from FCD about to call in. Hopefully it's very, very soon. I don't even think I'm going to get to the Hoedown tonight. I don't think we're going to get to Carson because that match kicks off soon.
Yeah, that kicks off in about an hour. So here, we can go ahead and get him on here.
Hey, welcome to the Peel.
Hey, Justin, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm good. Sounds like y'all been having fun for the past couple hours.
Unfortunately, this is probably the longest show we've ever done, ever.
Is probably one of the most viewed shows we've ever had. Isn't it so bad that it takes this much drama just to have this much mean?
So, okay, before we dive right into this, how do you honestly feel about these sanctions? Do you think it is absolutely stupid? Or do you...
Oh, God, yes, it's stupid. God,
okay.
Yes, it's stupid. I mean,
all right, we're starting this off on the right note.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Ever since that little SOB from England came over, Ray, whatever the hell his name is, Mr. Fun Police, because that's basically what he is. Like, I had a guy a couple weeks ago that came in. He's from Tottenham. And they knew about this guy because he used to do this thing for the English Premier League. He was basically their fun police coming down on the SGs over there. And his biggest deal is, for whatever reason, he's got such a hard-on that he thinks we're going to turn into hooliganism England. I mean, for fuck's sakes, come on, dude. I'm dead serious. That is what I've heard from other SGs and like Seattle and a few other places have tried really, really hard to get rid of this guy, but man, they're like, no, fuck you. We're gonna listen to this guy because whatever. He's in town and fuck the SGs in this week.
So I don't even know how I want to ask this. Like, how does this make the atmosphere now? And look, I'm not going to hold back. You guys have horrible attendance, okay? So limiting.
Oh yeah, we do.
You know, you guys had 300 fans there, and I don't know if you went back and watched it on TV. Well, no, I mean for us, you had 300 Dynamo supporters there, and if you go back and watch it on TV, all you heard were Houston supporters, not Dallas. So, I mean, yeah, I know it doesn't look good for you guys, but the atmosphere has got to be a hell of a lot better during that match than what it's going to be if you limit it to 100 tickets for away supporters.
No, I agree, but if it wasn't for our own bullshit with our front office, I mean, good God, we're gonna bitch about swearing chants now? Really? Really? I mean, for fuck's sake, if we had, here's my whole thought on that. If between us and y'all, if we all had numbers like Seattle, Portland, or really the magic number I'm going to say is 5K. If you've got 5K supporters, the front offices and the league, they're not going to touch you. Because I guarantee you, the leash up in Seattle, in Portland, Orlando, probably Vancouver, also Toronto, with the exception of when they play Montreal, that leash is pretty damn long in terms of what they can get away with.
Oh, trust me, we see it on TV all the time. I mean, like, the supporters group, firing off their own smoke bombs in their stadium.
Yeah, because they've got all that approved through, the stadium and the fire marshal and
then I also go back to my original statement of how Kansas City on national TV in 2011 were shown flipping off a Dynamo player front row in a playoff game, and that's okay. It's a rivalry.
So
it's
Andre,
a rivalry.
Sean wants to know if you're coming down for the match here. for the second leg of the Derby?
Don't know yet. Depends on work. I'm gonna try to.
What if I told you?
We shall see.
What if I told you he's offering you a beer?
Well, considering that I Andrew a beer for a little bet last year, okay.
Andre, we'll sweeten the deal. Justin and I will both also buy you a beer each. That's three free beers already coming down just for the Derby, and then also we'll give you a Dynamo scarf too to top it off right there.
All right, let me see what I can do. I'll hit y'all.
Don't burn it, okay? Please don't burn it.
Hi, Megan.
Please don't burn it and post it on Twitter, okay?
He says hi, Megan. She's our impromptu producer / Twitter person tonight.
So you're basically making her work. Good job.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. She says hi.
So I mean,
oh God.
Now, and I don't know if you've reached out to other supporters. How are other FCD supporters feeling about this? I mean, are they in the same boat where this is absolutely ridiculous and it hurts the spirit of the rivalry?
As far as that goes, I mean, from what I've seen, it's your standard LOL, let's all have a laugh at Houston and all that shit. But people were asking questions, what the fuck happened? Why did they get the ban?
Mm.
And, we haven't, as far as I've seen, nothing's been told, nothing's been said outside of, that letter that y'all got from RFO in the stadium and all the league bullshit. I mean, it's so dumb what MLS is doing right now. It's like you want supporters culture, but you're also trying to kill it.
Yep.
But you're not going to quit the biggest FGs in the country. Like, kiss my ass. Either have a set standard for everybody, or go fuck yourself.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to make this one a not safe for work and not safe for
children. Oh no, this is a not safe for work episode. Yeah, no, post that in disclaimer because we had ripped this episode apart a long time ago, man. Don't even worry about that. Well, man, hey, we really hope to have you here for the game. To be honest with you, because it's a good. I think it's good for the rivalry right at the moment. I think it's petty on MLS. We got a lot from Eddie Robinson. Explaining how it's not so much of FC Dallas FO, which is kind of shocking for us.
So let me ask you this then. How does it make you feel as a fan knowing that MLS is essentially making FCD the scapegoat for all this?
Because it's complete BS. I mean, I'm sure other front offices have probably had to do that in certain situations, whether or not they're the ones actually doing it, but we're in a pretty shitty place right now when it comes to the league versus the clubs versus your supporters, because it's like the league is reviewing everybody at this point. They're putting some onus on the clubs, but apparently if you're so bad, the league's going to basically step in and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, make up your damn mind and push your own. We'll tell you what the rules are. Oh, wait, no, we're not going to do that because we don't want y'all to see the book that we've written on all the SGs, which allegedly they have on everybody. Give me a break.
Well, Andre, I think we're going to go ahead and let you go. We've got to get into a few more things and hopefully try to end this episode.
Yeah, man, holy cow. This is almost a 2-hour-long episode. This is awesome.
Y'all stay cool. Later.
All right, thank you, man.
Later, man.
Later.
Wow.
That was actually pretty cool.
That was
I've
awesome.
actually met him in person. Yeah. Real chill dude. He was down here last year when the Dynamo blew them out, and it was actually extremely fun to hang out with him. We hung out with him at Little Woodrow's.
Andre, if you're still watching, definitely make sure you have a designated driver. According to all the fans here saying, they're gonna buy you a beer when you come down here, man.
We're gonna have to throw a peel party for this show and for this match and get everybody lit before they go into the stadium.
Yeah.
And then make it hell for FC Dallas.
Oh no, please! I sit right in front of them. They're right above me on the upper level, in the lower bowl part of the stadium, and please
Sean, we're still waiting for you to call in. I mean, we will definitely make time for you, for Sean to call in.
Well, I think he wants to do next week.
Next week?
Yeah,
well, he can still call in and berate MLS.
Yeah, he can still call in and berate MLS. Sean, the number's right here, dude. You call in right now if you want. we do have to get turned down.
Yes,
down the Valley segment too. So
next week, okay.
Yeah,
if you can get Carson on, try to get Carson on. If it's too late.
No, he said he's still got an hour before the. He's still got an hour before the. Before kickoff.
And then I still have a real quick. I'm going to try to make it quick. Houston Hoedown. We've got power rankings and then some other news, and then we're done.
You want to go and call?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
We'll do down in the valley, and then we'll get into the rest of this shit. All right. What's up?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Who do you have on the line here?
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to mute you guys. Hold on.
Yes, please. We don't want to hear ourselves.
Yeah, the echo's a little odd. I know. Yeah, good show, first of all.
Thank
Great
you.
show. One of your best shows by far.
Thank you.
Sean. It's good
I
material.
definitely
tonight.
echo the sentiments that Josh has said. Josh, for the second half, and I think Amber were both above us, above me and 5 or 6 other Dynamo fans that drove up with us. And there was nothing in the middle of that match at all, during that match, that even remotely would constitute any sort of sanction. And I think Eddie highlighted it best that this is coming from MLS. And at this point, you guys have had enough people on that have helped clarify and help kind of point to what's really going on, which is this just happens to be, unfortunately, Dynamo supporters at the wrong place, the wrong time, doing the one wrong thing that they're looking for and that they're wanting to crack down on. And I think really, it's kind of funny because the more I've paid attention to kind of the FC Dallas kind of radical fan base and the Houston Dynamo fan base, this is almost like kind of united both fan bases together, and this is the most
I was actually going
I've
to
seen
state
This is the most I've seen both fan bases agree on anything.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it's almost going to be it's going to create a better atmosphere, not an almost like a rivalry atmosphere. I mean, that's going to be there regardless for June 23rd, but it's going to create a friendly atmosphere where I honestly think that even maybe before the match, these guys are going to be hanging out together, down in beers, there's no tomorrow. I don't think MLS would allow it, obviously, but I just feel like there's enough of everybody's kind of sick and tired of MLS cracking down on supporters group, cracking down on that culture.
But I want to know why it's okay for, and I understand that the numbers are there, but why is it so okay for Portland and Seattle to talk shit, for both Red Bull or both New York teams to talk shit to each other? You have Philly and everybody on the East Coast to talk shit to each other, but we can't.
Well, I think Andre kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, you're talking the difference in numbers, right? You're talking 5K for Seattle versus Portland. You're talking, 1 to 2K for, for a couple of the other major rivalries up in the Northeast, and that's because they're so close together they can afford to do that.
Yeah.
We're talking 300 to 400 down here, and they're always going to crack down on the one that they feel they can get away with cracking down on it. If they were to do it against the Seattle and Portland, that's going to be a national news item. That's going to come across on national news some way or somehow. And they also know that Merritt Paulson would probably say something and probably go against MLS. They know, and I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to get me in seriously hot water with the Dynamo organization, but they know that Chris Canetti has absolutely no backbone when it comes to MLS.
Ooh, there you go. Okay. I was just going to say, so I hear Merritt Paulson a lot tonight. So who exactly is Merritt Paulson?
Merritt Paulson is the owner of Portland Timbers.
Okay, all right. So I know that much.
He is extremely vocal.
Trust me, I don't know every owner of every team. I know their coaches, and that's the extent of a lot of them.
It's okay, Josh. We know you're not the hardcore fan. It's okay.
I'm not the hardcore fan over here. Yeah, I'm the hardcore fan of my team. Merritt Paulson has already previously stuck up for his supporters group. He's stuck up for his players. MLS has brought down various suspensions, various things against their organization in different ways.
And he has had no problem speaking up and speaking out using his platform on Twitter or Facebook to get messages across. He's had periods where he's had to actually delete messages off Twitter for stuff that he said. He is honestly, he's one of those people that frankly, if you're following Merritt on Twitter, you're going to find out information about, about trades, about transfers, before they actually become full news items in terms of public news items. Because he has, and Cisco just said it on the comments, but he has literally, there's no filter for that guy. He just says what's on his mind, and he's Eddie Robinson if Eddie Robinson was a owner of a team.
So can we vote Eddie Robinson into owning this Dynamo team or something? I mean, because we need someone with a backbone who's going to stand up for the fans and be a badass. That would be a badass owner right there. You know, we want somebody like Barrett Paulson, because that is awesome.
I see that. And I think that's one of the problems, and obviously we'll get into this next week talking about ownership, because there's a couple other things that ties into. But, be careful what you wish for when it comes to ownership, right? Because everybody, when AEG was, majority owner, okay, we want our own ownership. We don't want to have AEG anymore. Well, now the question is, is the new ownership willing to spend the money? And it's kind of the same thing. Is the new ownership willing to stand up for their fan base, willing to stand up for their organization, or are they just following in the same trend? Really that Kennedy has kind of set forth. And I don't like calling Kennedy out. He's a good guy. He's a good person. But I think in this instance that he is going to let MLS have their way, and he's going to direct his front office to do the same thing. And it's not that he doesn't want to come out and say anything. It's that if he's been told not to say anything, he doesn't feel like he has the power or the authority to do anything. And that may be coming, and I'm saying this on pure speculation, but that very well may be coming from Gabriel Brenner and our ownership group. That may not actually be necessarily the way Kennedy feels. Kennedy may want to be very vocal. He may want to talk about this. But I can tell you that, in knowing Kennedy and in discussing various things with Kennedy over the years, that he does tend to keep his cards close to the chest. But I don't think that's a Kennedy decision so much as that is an organizational ownership decision, and something that's just been instilled in the culture of this organization.
It's kind of playing it safe, not putting yourself out on a limb. You have to kind of take those dives, but you got to have the right people in place for that. Not everybody's built for something like that, And we are getting some tweets here. No one has mentioned that fucktard that burned the Dynamo scarf.
Well, we talked about it.
We did talk about it a little bit, Alex.
All that it was is Dallas Beer Guardians had posted it on their Twitter, but FC Dallas doesn't want to realize the fact that it happened. When I asked Miss Miller about it, she was just like, I hadn't seen it. I don't know what we were talking about.
She kind of waved it off. We'll email it to her, but it's really not going to do anything because it doesn't show that it's happening on Toyota Stadium property. It just shows the ground. So it's just a Dynamo scarf being burned by the Dallas supporters, and it's pretty shitty. But there's not much we can do about it.
I do want to say too, and I think Josh can speak to this, that actually the majority of the FCD fans that we dealt with and talked to while we were in the stadium, especially in that second half, they were actually for the most part very cordial, and that actually caught me off guard because everything I'd heard about that rivalry is that FCD fans for the most part were very anti that. They were very radical, very rowdy, very obnoxious, that sort of thing.
It was completely opposite of what I expected going into the stadium. Not one person walked up to me and gave me shit. It was actually pretty cool. I took a picture with a bunch of them, and I thought they were awesome for the most part. So.
Yeah, they were,
yeah.
and it was fun having the kids, across from me, and they were yelling, and their mother and them were all yelling, FC Dallas, and I would, quietly yell sucks. And they actually, they acknowledged it, and they had nothing bad to say about it. They were actually they loved it. They thought it was great because it was done in fun, and it wasn't meant to be rude or meant to be, jerkish. It was just kind of a fun rivalry thing, and they enjoyed it. But that's kind of the thing, right? That's what MLS doesn't see, is that even these casual fans, even these mother, family fans, they enjoy that same atmosphere. That's really what they want to see, because that's what soccer passion is all about. And you're taking it away simply because you disagree with it as MLS. You feel like you need to put your foot down or whatever. But, at the same time, it is what it is. And MLS is, MLS is going to continue to do what MLS does until somebody stands up and has the, cojones to to stand up to MLS on a major level. And it's going to take more than just one organization. It's going to take more than Portland or more than Seattle or more than Vancouver. It's going to take supporters groups united across all of MLS to start to see real changes and real emphasis on cracking down on MLS level control over these things, that these should actually be at the club level, not at MLS level. MLS should have no say in these things. Absolutely. Other than to back up what each organization themselves are setting forth as the criteria and the sanctions. If FC Dallas didn't want these sanctions to come down, then to be honest with you, that speaks absolute volumes about where this is coming from, who is pushing this. And as Eddie kind of said, it's sad that they're not willing to, they being MLS, are not willing to put their own name behind the sanctions and instead are trying to make it out to be an FTD thing. I think it says a lot, and I think it points to what's really going on.
Embarrassing.
Anyway.
So, Sean, I know that we're going to have you on the show with us next week, so we do appreciate you calling in, man. And we got some good topics to go over next week.
Yeah, we do. Lots of topics. Summer transfer window's coming up, guys.
Exactly. So we definitely want to dive into that. So.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Hey, man,
Right.
we appreciate you. Thank you.
Later.
Thanks, bye.
All right, we have been postponing Carson. We have got to get Carson on for Down in the Valley, man. We have got to do our Toro segment because they go on in 40 minutes for a game tonight. So let's go ahead and get him on.
We're gonna make it quick. We're gonna get him on in about 5 minutes, in and out. Let's see.
All right. So that was some good talking points. We've had a lot of listeners and tonight, and this is awesome. We appreciate you guys calling into the show. Appreciate Eddie Robinson letting us call him. Alicia, Corey Rupkin, Sean. So.
Hey, what's up, Carson?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. Sorry, it took us 2 hours to get you on.
Oh my God!
No, is there anything going on in Houston soccer that I should know about?
Not really, not at all.
No, just besides that MLS hates us.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm glad to be in another league. That's for sure.
Yeah. You got USL, and that is good for you right now because there's been some heated stuff going on over here. So, anyways, man, we appreciate you calling it, or we'll appreciate you. We'll call this time, for Down
we'll
the Valley.
get you on in and out real quick because we know you got a basketball game to watch.
Not a basketball game, no. He's got a Toros game.
Oh, and a Toros game. There's both.
Yeah, he's got a Toros game. Which one are you going to be watching?
The hometown. I have to watch the Cavs a bit, but I'll be tuned into the Toros.
There you go, man. All right, well, give us an update on the Toros, brother.
Yeah, so they played in Sacramento Saturday. It was a 0-0 draw, but good action match. I know sometimes 0-0 draws are kind of a snooze fest, but it was good. Some big saves by Callie Brown, who was down on loan. Maybe we'll see some more Dynamo players loaned down tonight, being that it is midweek. But yeah, it was a good match. Sacramento is one of the teams that's trying to go up to MLS, and I was actually able to get out to that match this weekend. And great crowd, great atmosphere. So I was a fan. I'll give them a thumbs up for MLS.
I definitely saw a lot of support from the Toros. They were very, very happy to walk out with the 0-0 draw. Is Sacramento that really good of a team?
Yeah, Sacramento was a good team, and that crowd was packed. I was actually talking to some of the media guys there, and they said, yeah, it pretty much sells out every week. So anytime you can do that, and it was a loud stadium. It was a good match. It was like you said, great to get out of there with a point.
That is awesome, man. So tell us about the match tonight.
Yeah, tonight they play Reno, 1868, which I assume that has some very significant, historical value, but I don't really understand it. But they play Reno tonight. It'll be the first match ever between the two teams. Reno's new this year. They have the all-time leading scorer in the USL. Actually, a friend of mine, Dane Kelly, so he'll be the main guy that the Toros have to look out for. I think he scored 8 goals last month alone, so anytime you're doing that, it's usually kind of tough to stop. But yeah, nice little midweek action. It's fun. It's always good, especially with the Dynamo. Not anything coming up just yet.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a bye week here for us. So gonna focus a little bit more on getting some away wins eventually, and then of course we got USA coming up tomorrow. So
Yeah, that'd be a beautiful. How about a Dynamo away win? That'd be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Hopefully it'll happen soon, but don't hold your breath on it.
As long as they're not setting off any smoke bombs or anything.
Yeah. Be careful. Don't set off any smoke bombs or anything like that. Don't get any
Fog
sparklers
bombs
involved.
are cool. Fog bombs are cool though.
Fog bombs. Don't get any sparklers involved too. I heard that was also banned as well. So don't get any sparklers involved. So,
I was thinking maybe like Roman candles or something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can tell you that smoke bombs, flags,
Brutus joins the show again.
streamers, all of that is okay for the Toros, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bring those out. I'm sure they won't crack down too hard, and I think the USL is a little more relaxed, a little more fan friendly than the Big Brother may be there with MLS.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you calling in. Where's the standings at so far for the Toros?
They're still in playoff position, less than halfway through the season, so that's a good thing. They're doing well. Hopefully get another positive result on the road tonight, and they're back home Saturday against Seattle Sounders too.
Frisco asked us, and it's only because my dog was probably on the podcast, are dogs allowed?
That's a good question.
but no. They
they are not allowed at
they're-
the stadium, okay?
they're allowed
You will
at-
be banned by MLS. Probably not by MLS.
They're
Probably
allowed
banned
at
by-
Dash
I would-
games once a year only
I
because
would
they
say
don't have enough fans.
that goes against the Baja Men. The Baja Men were wondering who let the dogs out. Maybe it was actually the MLS asking on their behalf.
Carson, we appreciate you, man, as always, down in the valley, giving us the Toros update. For those of you not familiar with the Toros, Rio Grande Valley FC Toros.
Yeah.
Houston Dynamo's USL affiliation team. So you see a lot of players coming in and out. Joe Holland.
Yep.
Joe Holland. Just gonna throw that out there, man. We met him the other day. I'm excited. I want to see him on the pitch for the Dynamo at some point. So.
Sounds good, guys. Yeah, and the Cavs, as you know, started 0-2 last year, and then Golden State blew through and leave. So.
Hey, man.
This is true. Hey, I think they're going to win it tonight.
Repeat, baby. Repeat.
So.
I'm hoping.
All right, man. Thanks again, Carson.
All right.
Later.
Wow.
All right,
What
so
a show. What a show tonight.
So let's go get to the power rankings. Let's do the schedule and a little bit of fantasy, maybe, probably not.
Probably.
I'll do my
skip
Hoedown.
Let's skip
Okay.
out on fantasy this week. Nobody cares.
All right, go ahead and tell us where we're at in the power rankings.
Yeah, we are still sitting at 9th. Apparently a beat down against RSL and then a loss on the road keeps you evened out in the week here. So it says, will the Dynamo ever win a road game? Tune in next time to find out. Yes,
Yeah.
we will tune in next time.
Thank you, MLS. Thank you for writing something kind of nice,
Oh,
even though
yeah.
you don't want to admit to your own screw up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Dynamo's next game is next Friday against the LA Galaxy
Yes.
in LA Galaxy. Actually, the game
It's in
prior
Carson,
to
California.
the
It's not
game-
even in LA. It's like a Frisco.
Kind of, yeah. Anyway, the game prior to that is going to be the U.S. Open Cup.
Yes.
So that's going to be the one against North Carolina
Yep.
Railhawks. So that should be
Yes.
also interesting as well.
All right. I'm going to do this so nobody else calls. Sorry, guys. Closing the phone lines.
Yeah, we are going to close.
All
Go
right.
ahead, close the phone lines and close
So
the
in
show.
case you've also been sleeping under a rock, MLS is off-ish. Well, at least we are. There is the U.S. men's national match World Cup qualifier tomorrow against Trinidad and Tobago. If you're in town, head over to Lucky's for the AO Houston watch party. It's an amazing time. We chant, we scream, we yell, we drink a ton. My girlfriend's actually the president of the chapter. It's a great organization. Go buy some scarves. Go drink a little bit. Go support the U.S. men's national team because they need it.
And you will see the peel there tomorrow.
Yes, you will see Josh and I there tomorrow. We're still contemplating on doing a show, maybe tomorrow, if not Friday.
Friday.
Saturday, there are some matches going on. You have Chicago Fire taking on Atlanta. You have Sporting Kansas City taking on Montreal. You have Portland taking on FC Dallas.
And
Go
Portland, by the way, Megan.
And then Sunday, probably the biggest match of the summer for the U.S. men's national team. You have Mexico taking on the U.S. men's national team. A match I was supposed to be at, but other things came up.
You save your money.
Yes. That kicks off on Sunday at 7:30 our time. Again, go down to Lucky's. And then Tuesday, start some Open Cup matches. Wednesday will be our next match against North Carolina FC. It's in the U.S. Open Cup. It will be 6:30 our time. I think they'll probably show that on YouTube. Watch it, because U.S. Open Cup matters. Standings, let's get to that, and then I'll throw my Hoedown, and we'll probably close this off for tonight. We are sitting second on the table, 23 points with 15 matches played, 7 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. 7 wins and 1 draw at home, 0-6-1 on the road. We need to turn that around. As for the Houston Hoedown, like I said, I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I humanly can. Houston FC took on OKC Energy on June 2nd, losing 3-0. That was here at home. First half saw both teams scoreless, and then starting in the 63rd minute, OKC opened it up, and then it was all downhill from there when William Roberts scored in the 63rd, netting his second of the year. And in the 79th minute, Christian Grecki scored, and then Luke Fatten scored in the 88th minute. Their next match will be June 8th against Brazos Valley Cavalry. I'm getting there. But against Brazos Valley Cavalry FC, which is the Houston Dynamo affiliate. That match will be at 7:30 at Brazos Valley, who currently sits 4th in the mid... actually, that's false. That is Houston FC. They currently sit 4th in the Mid-South Division with a record of 1-3-0 with 3 points. And then, like I said, Brazos Valley, their next match is against Houston FC. They lost on June 5th, or they won on June 5th, 4-3 against Texas United. Marcelo Palomino scored twice in that match. They currently sit 5th in the Mid-South.
By the way, Dynamo, U16, I believe, Palomino.
Okay. They currently sit 5th in the Mid-South Division with a record of 1-2-0 with 3 points. Like I said, their next match is against Houston FC. And then the Dutch Lions played the Houston Regals in Conroe. I personally put a hashtag on there called the Houston Derby. That was June 3rd in Conroe. The Dutch Lions took the first leg of the Houston Derby 4-1 over the Houston Regals. I'm not going to read all the goals, but Dylan Armstrong scored 2 for them. And their next match will be June 10th at 7 o'clock at home versus the Fort Worth Vaqueros, who currently sit in first place in the MPSL's... I forgot the name of that division. Anyway, Houston Regals' next match will be against... where'd it go? I had it right here. Hey, man, I got a lot of pages. Will be June 10th versus Tyler FC, who they played a 0-0 draw earlier in the season. The Dutch Lions currently sit 3rd with 3 matches played, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 4 points. The Regals sit 4th with 4 matches played, 1 win, 2 losses, 1 draw. Almost done, guys. The Houston South Select unfortunately lost again, 10-0 to the TTI Blue Bonnets. They sit in last in the Southwest South Division with 5 matches played, 0 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, and 1 point. Their next match will be June 11th at 1 p.m. versus the Texas Titans, also of Houston, at San Jacinto College. Texas Titans lost 2-1 versus the Blue Bonnets on May 31st, and they lost 1-0 against San Antonio Athenians on June 2nd. They play tonight against the TTI Blue Bonnets again, and then they also play June 9th versus Shreveport Lady Rafters in Shreveport. And then June 11th, they play Houston South Select, which I said prior to this. Texas Titans currently sit 5th in the Southwest South Division with 4 matches played, 2 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses, and 6 points. And then you have the Houston Aces, who are probably the bright spot in women's soccer in this country. That's funny. They opened up their season versus the Calgary Foothills. Unfortunately, they lost 2-1. It was a battle, but Stephanie Castano made the honorable mention for the UWS Week 1 Team of the Week with 11 saves. Their next match will be June 11th at 6 versus Real Salt Lake Women at Utah Valley University. Bam, that's Houston right now.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. I got this next part. Guys, you can like us, our Facebook page, The Peel 2005. Follow us on The Peel on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, The Peel 05. You can also email us, thepeel2005@gmail.com. Like our friends, Alicia joined us earlier, Dynamo Theory.
Yes.
Follow them on Twitter @Dynamo Theory, and then visit the website where you will find this show in very controversy episode. I don't know the camera here. DynamoTheory.com. So
I do want to say thank you to everybody that called in, that commented, that watched for all 2 hours. I'm sorry it took 2 hours,
awesome.
but it is greatly appreciated.
This is a good episode.
Hopefully, we need to make this an every week thing. That is the only way you could drum up support for a team and promote the soccer talk and culture in this city.
Yeah, please. I mean, go to freaking work like I do and tell people, if you go to one soccer game a year, make it the game against Dallas.
Yes.
Tickets are like $30, dude.
Philip,
you can't beat that.
I understand that you just tuned in. Don't worry. It's going to be hopefully on SoundCloud tonight, if not early tomorrow, and it will also be posted on Dynamo Theory. I will be splitting this up into 2 parts because it's 2 hours.
Yes, and Philip, also follow us on Facebook, or like us on Facebook, The Peel 2005. Follow us on Twitter, The Peel 05. That's where a lot of our interaction happens, guys, is on Twitter. So follow us on there, please. Please, please, please.
But I think that's going to do it for me.
That's going to do it for me as well.
I'm Justin.
I'm Josh.
And we're out.
Forever Orange.
Forever Orange.